Hey guys, today I'll be talking a little bit about how to practice your presentation effectively. As I mentioned a little bit last time, the best way to practice your presentation is by pulling people who kind of don't really have any experience with your project, don't understand your project, and explain it to them because then you'll be able to see which part of your presentation doesn't make sense, which part that you need to elaborate on, and which parts of your project are interesting to them, and maybe you should emphasize to your judges, right? And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, well, hey, what if I choose someone that doesn't really have a background in science and they might not be able to understand my project? Well, the thing is, if you can't explain your project really simply to like a sixth grader, then you're probably not explaining it the right way, right? You should be able to explain it to the point where everyone can understand. Part of the reason that I feel like my project or our project did so well in science fair is because it was so simple. It was something that people with no science background could understand, right? Like sound waves, microplastics, it blocks it, right? It's very simple. So even if you have like some really complicated computational biology project that I'm really not good at biology, so I wouldn't be able to understand it. But if the general average person couldn't understand it, then maybe you need to be kind of adding kind of analogies or metaphors within your presentation, or breaking down the content into things that are like more relatable to the judge, because you may think, oh well, maybe all of my judges are qualified and know what I'm talking about, but a lot of the times they're not qualified, or they are qualified but they're not like experts in your niche subject. And sometimes the judges are volunteers, right, and all they have is a few years of industry experience, and maybe it's not even in the same industry. So if they don't understand your project, guess what? They're going to be walking away. They're going to be walking away not knowing what your project was about, and after two presentations, they'll forget about it, right? So I kind of went off topic there, but that's kind of the importance of pulling different people, different types of people to listen to your presentation, right? And obviously, while you're practicing, you should be timing yourself. Aim for about 6 to 10 minutes. I like to do 8 minutes at the max, but this leaves time for the judge to ask questions at the end if they do have questions, and it doesn't take too much of their time. A lot of the time when you see like really long presentation sessions, like you see a judge at a project for a long time, most of the time they're asking questions and the other person is responding and they're having a conversation that way. And it's really easy to lose track of time that way. No one's presentation should really be more than 10 minutes, because if it is, there are definitely things that you can cut out. Like if an ISEF winner's presentation was only about 8 minutes when we had it at like the state fair, then I'm sure that you guys can cut it down too. You should also be practicing short 5 minutes, 3 minutes presentations, maybe even 1 minute presentations, because there'll be judges that at the end of the judging session, they run up to you and they say, hey, I kind of lost track of time there at that project and I only have 2 minutes. So can you tell me a little bit about your project, right? You don't want to be talking faster, right? That's not the time to be talking faster. Instead, what you should be doing is talking with more urgency and talking about the things that matter, right? Maybe one sentence about introduction, two sentences what you did, one sentence about why your project is important, right? If you start talking quickly, then it's not really going to work because the judge won't really understand what you're saying anyway. So you basically have a 0 minute presentation if you think about it. But in general, just practice with different time constraints, because there will be judges that have a limited time. Every single fair that or almost every single fair that I've been to, there has been a judge that said, hey, I'm running late on time. Because if someone else is doing everything that you learned in this course and they have a judge there for 20 minutes, right? The judge is going to have to cut time somewhere else. And unfortunately, that might be your project. And that's not on you, but you should be practicing for that. So those are kind of my tips to help practice. Obviously, you can practice a lot alone by in your room, just talking. Something else that I found is that if you have like a printed board and you have a copy of it on your computer, it's okay to look at to have the laptop in front of you initially when you're trying to learn your script, or not your script. Hear that, guys? But kind of your bullet points, right? But in the real presentation, your board will be behind you, so you won't be able to constantly look at the board. So maybe for the first few days, you should look at it, and then after that, you should try to do it with your computer behind you or even by memory. So yeah, those are some of the tips that I have for practicing. Remember, it's about how much effort and work you put into it, and if you follow these tips, I'm sure you guys will have a great presentation. So thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. As always, I'll have links in the description below. If you want one-on-one tutoring, I have a Google form for that. Also, if you have any questions, you can shoot me an email. My email will also be in the description, or leave a comment and I'll see if I can get to it as soon as possible. Finally, if you learned something new or you wanted to support my work, there's a link down below that you can buy me a coffee or support my work. All of that is not mandatory, but I would really appreciate if you did that. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you guys soon.